Hi, welcome. Today we're going to be using the Franklin Method balls, and it's really important that these are the softer type of balls. So if you don't actually have the Franklin Method balls, make sure you use something that's a little bit giving. You don't want to be putting too hard surfaces underneath you. So this one is a really lovely one. So if you're having one of those days where you just want to feel a little bit released, this is the series for you. So not everyone can sit as I'm sitting right now in a kneeling position. So we're going to do our best to free that up. So you're going to take the two balls and you're going to place one behind each knee. And you're going to take a seat down towards your calves and then come back up again. Now, if you can't do that with flat feet, you can always do it with tucked toes, which is an added benefit for the back of the foot area. But the point is to not sit and rest. The point is that as you sit, things are going to change and then you shift the ball a little bit again. So it's just sort of a mini squat series if you want. And then I'm just replacing the balls as I go to come down a little lower through the back of the calf area and just sitting down into different positions each time. So again, if your knees are too bothersome and this doesn't work for you, I'm sorry, stay higher up at the knee, but see if you can then eventually get down towards the ankles. All right, so from here what we're going to do is take the balls out and just lengthen through the legs to come down onto your back. So when we come down onto our back, we're just going to notice how our body is. So straightening the legs away from you. Give yourself an internal rating between 1 and 10, 10 being the best you've ever felt. And just notice what you are like right now, because things are about to shift. So the balls now will come underneath your pelvis. We place them on either side of your sacrum, which is the triangle bone at the base of your pelvis. And this should be a familiar place for most people who have done this work with me before. And what you're going to do is just a gentle rolling of the ball one way and of the other way. So just an easy movement where the pelvis is tilting backwards and forwards and your spine is sort of mirroring what's going on. So you'll feel a little bit of lengthening up and down the mat surface. You're just going to do a little sort of tilting one way and then tilting the other way. So just dropping a hip down onto the support of the ball on one side and then onto the other. And then let's just make that into a free moving circle. So when you do these movements with the pelvis, your aim is not to move your knees sideways, but to keep the feeling of your knees kind of going forwards and backwards just naturally. You're not driving the movement from your knees. Let's go the opposite way with your circles. And as the balls are on the back of the pelvis, what you'll notice is that each time you're moving, they're being put into different positions and different pressures underneath. And then just taking the balls away and rest the pelvis down. Now you could straighten your legs out, but we're going to bend them again in a moment. So just noticing here, wow, maybe there's more contact with the floor. Maybe you feel lighter, broader, heavier. That so many different words could be coming up. The next place, this is all making sure that your lower back is good though, is to place the balls right into the curve of your spine. If you don't know where the curve of the spine is, it's opposite the belly button. So you're going to notice that when your bottom is on the floor, you're going to be in a very big curve of the lumbar spine. So if you know that's not good for you, don't do this one. And then from here, it's like a bridge. You're just going to begin to peel the pelvis away and then lowering it back down. So we're only going to go to the point where we're still in contact with the balls. We're not leaving the balls, but we're getting this rolling back towards you and rolling forward motion. So a lot of people talk about wanting to do pelvic floor muscles. These are great exercises for pelvic floor muscles because they're being used all the time. We're going to move this now into a figure 8, which means you're going to drop the pelvis off one side and lift and drop it down and around to the other. So you'll notice that whichever way you went is the most comfortable way for you. And as I say, we change direction, just notice what your body does. One, your mind will probably freak out. Your eyes will probably say that's not even possible. Your breathing might change. So see if you can just make all of that stuff go away and just reverse the movement. And then once you've done your figure 8, bring the balls out and again just enjoy this new feeling. I feel amazing already, and all we've done is 3 little releases. Next, we're going to take the ball and place it at the lower ribs. So now we're coming closer to the actual spine center. Before we were a little broader apart. So again, you're going to notice there's a rib flaring effect happening. And we're going to do the same motion of rolling the pelvis back and then coming down. But each time we're bringing the hips away from the ground, you will be feeling that, of course, you've got higher and higher up in your movement, which means we're working through the segments of the spine that much more effectively. And when we can work through these segmental movements, then we're going to release at areas, and we're also going to get more mobility. I know it sounds so simple, doesn't it? And that's really what it is, just very simple. All right, and then from there, we're going to lift the pelvis up and put the balls into the next height up the spine. So we're climbing from the pelvis, we're going to end up at the shoulders. And again, just raising hips and lowering hips. So in these movements, you could be rolling up and down the length of your spine, but the balls don't like clothing so much. They like to eat the clothes. So keeping the balls where they are and getting your body to do the movement is actually a little bit more fun in this series. Now we're probably at a point where we can't actually lift up higher and throw the balls up the back. So what we're going to do is slide down to the next position. Now, if you start to notice that your head is tilting to the ceiling, I'd like you to support your head with your hands, but for now you may still be able to be here. And again, we're going into our lift and lower of our pelvis. So as always, you could do a rolling motion, you could just do, as I'm doing right now, a lifting motion. The point is that we're moving our body, and sometimes we can get too caught up in the language of what we do. We just want to move. We were designed to move, so just enjoy that. And then again, sliding down to the next level. So now we're closer towards the shoulder blades. And we're going to do one final bridge, bringing us up. So this is usually where we balance when we do bridging, onto the backs of the shoulder blades and down. And you'll notice, because the balls are there and it's a little unstable, normally it's your balancing shelf, you're going to start sliding in the opposite direction. And don't worry, remember, we're using this exercise today as a releasing, and the more sort of variation that your body is going to be getting, the better it's going to release. And then we're going to slide down one more time, and now we're going to take a hold of your head. And as I said, the balls like to eat the clothing, so I'm going to hold my shirt on one side, on the top and on the bottom, and now I'm going to roll in that upper back area. So just getting that massage along the sides of the spine, which we say are our postural muscles. They can become very tight for some people. They can be very weak in some people, especially if you've got a slump in your positioning. And then just resting down again, hands to hold your head, stretch over the balls. Take yourself into a little side bend, so just tilting down the left side, opening into the right ribs, and then changing that direction. So feeling the stretch from the elbow all the way down towards your lower ribs. Maybe you even feel it down to the opposite foot. Again, everyone's tension in their body is variable, so you could be feeling it higher up or lower down. Maybe you don't get as deep. I don't know. You're in your body. And then coming back over to the right side, and now we're going to make that into a circular action. So just going over and around the balls. When we make the circle, we're doing it in the upper spine, so keeping the lower body nice and still. And then let's go down and change the direction around. So, when we move like this, you're using all of your muscles. This is a great abdominal muscle exercise, but you don't have to think about it because you're so enjoying, well, I hope you are, the releasing that's happening at the back of the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to take the balls away and rest. So lengthen those legs out. Have your moment. And again, we're going to decide, what number are you living at between 1 and 10? My hope for you is that you increased closer to 10, because I know I certainly did. Almost feel like I don't want to move, but we are. We're going to tip ourselves over and we're going to lie on our front. Where we place the balls now is going to be at these points here at the front of your chest. So just easing your way over And it doesn't feel like a very heavy pressure, but we are going to just enjoy some sort of feeling of that. So start with your arms at your side. Let your shoulders roll forward. Your nose can just stay hovered, or if you're at home with a towel, you can balance it underneath your forehead line. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll the shoulders backward, peeling the collarbones away from the mat, and then allow them to roll forward again. And again, bringing the shoulders away and rolling them forward. So in many of us, we have these forward postured positions in our shoulders. So this movement is really actually very good, not only for releasing on the chest area, the pecs, but it's strengthening the back muscles and shoulder muscles, which is really the effect of our rounded postures. So we'll go one more time, peeling that up and then lowering it down. From here, we'll take the arms sideways and just turn your palms to face the ground. From this position, you're going to do a sliding to the right. So everything goes to the right side, and then everything goes towards the left side. So you're reaching with your arms. You can use your eyes to follow the gaze and see where you're going, or you can keep your head in the center. Really, whatever your body is asking for is what I want you to go for. And then staying in this position, raise the arms just into a hover off of the ground without seizing and tensing into those upper neck muscles. Rotate your palms as far one way as you can and as far the other way as you can. And you'll notice one way you can just keep feeling like you're spinning, 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 and the other way it just stops you. It's like, that's as far as I'm going. And that's natural. That's a part of the design. You just have to allow for that. And then we'll do one more time, spinning backward. And then I would love for you to just have your palms face towards the ceiling. Imagine you had something on your palm, like a glass of water or maybe a precious cell phone. And then bringing your palms all the way towards the side of the body and then taking them back into that same position. And again, drawing them in and opening them out. And we'll go for one more like that, and then we're going to change the angle. So from here, we're going to flip those palms to face down and pull into the side of the body and away. And it doesn't seem like much, but it makes a big difference in the muscles that are being worked in different angles and pulls. From here, we're going to flip those palms to face the ceiling, start to open them out, rotate them halfway and bring them above you. Lower your hands down and then slide an arm forward and slide the other arm back at the same time. So you're reaching forward with one arm and reaching back with the other. And you can feel this from your hands moving on the floor. Maybe you can feel the massage at the chest where the ball is, or maybe you've got your attention at your shoulder blades sliding up on one side, sliding down on the other side. Make yourself even and then bringing everything back to center. And then from here, we will take the balls out, rest yourself down, and then press yourself up into a seated position. I hope you feel as good as I do, that you've got broad space between your neck and shoulders, you feel open across your chest, and that you feel you could do that as often as you want. Thanks for joining me.